here once again, and I'm so happy that you're here and you're watching this, because here I am trying to deliver messages of love and hope and awareness. Yes, awareness is huge. Okay, so today I really wanted to talk about what is a vibrational match and how this affects our everyday relationships, not only our love interests, but relationships at work and relationships with our family members. When it comes to, especially in love relationships, this is kind of what I really wanted to get at today, but it does reflect every other area in your life, in your interpersonal relationships as well. What is a vibrational match? So, as you probably all know, we are vibration, and whatever you send out is whatever comes to you. Okay? But what happens is that we will always be matched with somebody in our life that we need an area of healing from, or we need an area of a lesson, really. We need a lesson from. So we are constantly being matched. What we think in this 3D plane, we are constantly being matched with the wrong guy or the wrong girl. And a lot of us, we feel like we attract the wrong person. But the thing is that you have to understand that there are things on a subconscious level from you that you are attracting this. Okay, I'll give you an example. A lot of us know that if you come from a background where there is alcohol abuse, that usually means that you will date somebody, whether it's the mother or the father, that you will date somebody that has this unfortunate addiction or unfortunate habit, right? So then you say to yourself, yeah, of course, we've all known that, these are tendencies, these are things, but it doesn't always have to be that way, first of all. It just has a lot to do with your own vibrational signature. How do you feel inside when you were a young person and you were going through this? Did you have a long yearning of just wanting to fix things? So, and it has a lot to do with your own self-love. Do you love yourself enough? Do you respect yourself enough? So what happens is that when we get aligned with someone that is really wonderful, really amazing, and you're like, oh my God, this person is like totally like so cool, and I love hanging out with him or her, and we have so many things in common. But guess what? The person likes to drink too much. The person likes to party too much. The person likes to do drugs. So then you fall into this habit of, oh my gosh, I really like him or her. I really want to spend time with this person. And, you know, we don't have to do all these things that make us want to drink and do, you know, get drunk all the time or whatever. And then what happens is that this other person, the person that you are interested in, your significant other, wants to do all these things, and it turns into a big headache because you're constantly finding yourself that you have to save this person. You become the savior. And this is what it is called a vibrational match. Why? Because the law of attraction, the universe, has matched you with someone that needed help, and for you, in your mind, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I am going to help them through. We're going to get through this. Baby, I love you. We are going to get through all of this. But guess what? It turns into a disaster. Because here it is, this person is going through a really hard time in their life, and yet they're having a good time, or whatever it is that they're doing with alcohol or any other drugs. And here you are trying to save this person, trying to show them the way or show her the way. And then it turns into a disaster after a while because you feel miserable, you feel resented. You're like, okay, this is not turning out the way I wanted it to be, but yet you still stay there. And I know I'm talking to a lot of you on this because I know I've been in my own difficult relationships as well. You still stay there. And the only thing I have to say to you is take a look back at your childhood. How was your childhood? How was that? Were you constantly trying to, well, actually not even say, but did you feel sorry for your parents? Did you feel sorry for a family member? Were you in a situation where there was some alcohol abuse or drug abuse in your life? And then you have to say to yourself, okay, do I want to keep repeating this pattern? Because this is why vibrational matches happen. The universe is going to align you into something that deep in your subconscious, deep in your soul level and your heart level, you have to overcome. And what is it that you have to overcome? Yourself. You have to overcome yourself. You have to love yourself and respect yourself. And until you get to that point, you're going to be embarrassed, you're going to be miserable, you're going to be maybe abused yourself. You're going to go through all these different types of suffering within the relationship and onto the next relationship. Because that's the thing, we always think, oh, it's just that one person. It's just that one person, and you finally break up and you say, oh my God, like I'm free, this is awesome, I'm with my girls and it's so cool, or I'm with my boys and this is so awesome. And guess what? You meet another person and this person is so freaking amazing and you love them and you're like, oh, head over heels once again, and you feel alive once again. And guess what? They like to drink or they like to do drugs once again. So here it is. Here's a pattern. But what are you going to do about it? If you want to stop attracting these kind of people, what are you going to do about it? And instead, this is a huge, I'm going to give you guys a huge tip into repelling people that you don't want to attract that are coming into your experience. A huge tip is don't pay so much attention into the person that is coming into your life that is not good for you. Don't say, oh my God, here we go again. Again, it's happening again. Just chill. Just chill. It's gonna be fine. Just know that this is something that you need to heal from. And it's gonna be okay. So again, in other relationships, a lot of us, I'm gonna move on from the whole addictive phase of that. Let's go into just troubled relationships. Let's go into love and hate relationships. Especially if you have grown up with a very troubled love and hate relationship between your mother or your father. And guess what? You start to date people that resemble your mother or your father, that resemble the troubled relationship that you had in the past when you were a child. And it doesn't have to be, there doesn't have to be a relationship of drug abuse, but there could be just a relationship of where the father was absent or the mother was absent. So then they start to go out with somebody who works too much, somebody who is not quite there all the time. And then you say to yourself, my God, why is he not there? Or, oh, he works so much. And then you start to make all these excuses. But guess what? After a little while later, you feel miserable. You feel invisible. Because that is how you felt when you were a child. Invisible and miserable. So then how do we learn from this? How do we overcome all this? By learning to love yourself and giving yourself the place and the respect that you deserve. And that does sometimes have to mean that you walk away from this person. That does. Because if this person is not fulfilling you on a heart level, you need to walk away from this person. And this person has become a perfect vibrational match to your inner core, inner being that needs to be healed from. So you have to understand that we are constant mirrors of one another, especially in relationships. That's why a lot of relationships don't last. That's why a lot of marriages don't last. Because people don't understand that when you marry somebody, when you're in love with somebody, and you're not at a point where you feel self-love and you feel whole, and I'm not trying to say that you have to be completely healed, because that is nonsense. You are constantly healing. The healing never stops. But you have to get to a point where there is no certain resentment from your past. There is no pain. And this is like an onion. You will constantly find layers of it. But the point is that when you're in a relationship, after a while, this person is going to mirror your own insecurities. The point is how are you going to heal yourself from it, going to understand, going to react? Because you have to understand that one thing that is very important is that nobody is responsible for your feelings but you. Nobody. Even if you tell, your boyfriend or your girlfriend, no, because you did this to me and you did that to me, that's just playing victim, okay? Whatever they've done to you, that they hurt your feelings, that's fine. You're more than welcome to communicate. But in the end, that is an insecurity that they brought upon you, or vice versa. I'm not trying to only point this to my viewer. I love you guys. This is not about, please don't feel so, don't feel like I'm just trying to point it into you. But what I'm trying to say is that you both are constantly mirroring each other. So you will bring out, so if you find yourself in a difficult relationship, you are bringing out your partner's insecurities as they're bringing out your insecurities if you feel them. But if you're getting to that point where your partner's insecurities are too large for you to handle, then that just means that you're vibrating differently. And that just means that you need to reconsider what are your values in a relationship, and how do you value yourself in a relationship and by yourself. So I hope this really helps. I really hope I can bring some awareness. Just remember, we are constant mirrors of one another, and we're not constant mirrors in a very practical way, like, oh, we have the same car, we have the same bike, or I don't know, we love the same music. That's a big one too. I understand people love all kinds of different music, and that's a beautiful thing. But we're talking about on a subconscious level. This person will mirror to you the things that you don't like about yourself, just like you will mirror to them the things that they don't like about themselves. You have to get to a point of self-respect and self-love for these things to not appear, or for you to handle these things in a better way. And nobody is responsible for your feelings but you, okay? I love you all. Bye.